You ever have one of those moments in public where you do something so awkward you just wish the ground would open up and swallow you? Yeah, me too. Well, today we're diving into an article by Thabo Basiki that's all about finding the humor in those exact moments, but from his perspective as a blind person. And let me tell you, it is a funny, warm, and honestly a surprisingly relatable look at how we all navigate the world. Right from the jump, Thabo makes it totally clear what this is all about. This isn't a story to make you feel sorry for him. Nope, it's a straight-up invitation to laugh with him. He's basically pulling up a chair and saying, "Hey, come on in. Let's giggle together at how absurd life can be." And that is exactly what we're going to do. All right, so our first story takes us way back to his childhood. We're in a classroom, and it's all about a simple misunderstanding that is somehow both hilarious and incredibly sweet. And it all centers on an apple.
Okay, so this is the absolute key to the whole story. I want you to really try and put yourself in his shoes for a sec. Imagine you're a little kid and you are 100% convinced that everyone is blind. Not just you, everybody. The world isn't about what you see, it's this whole landscape of sounds and smells and what things feel like. Now, how would that change the rules for, say, stealing an apple?
So, picture him sitting there in class. Every single day, like clockwork, his desk mate starts crunching into this juicy apple. He can hear that perfect, crisp sound. He can probably smell the sweetness hanging in the air, and man, he wants one so bad. That sound just becomes this daily temptation that he literally cannot ignore.
So naturally, he comes up with a plan, a perfect, foolproof plan, because, in a world where no one can see, what could go wrong? The second she leaves the room, he just reaches into her bag and snags an apple. It's the perfect crime, and the first time, it works. But then he gets a little bold, tries it again. This time when she gets back, she doesn't say a word. She just quietly opens his desk, takes out her apple, and splits it in half, handing him a piece. No anger, no gotcha, just pure, simple kindness.
And that was the lesson. It wasn't a scolding. It was this quiet act of generosity. In fact, his friend even brought him his very own apple the next day. A moment that could have been this totally mortifying kid gets caught stealing story instead became this incredible lesson in friendship and really just the power of asking for what you need.
So that was childhood. Now let's fast forward a bit to adulthood. This next batch of stories is all about those public facepalm moments of just pure cringeworthy humor. The kind of stuff that happens when you're just trying to get from point A to point B.
Okay, picture this. You're on a bus, it's been a good day, and you've got the very important job of sitting by the door, ready to open it for people getting off. A passenger asks for the next stop. Simple enough, right? I mean, what could possibly go wrong?
Well, the sequence of events is just perfectly disastrous. The bus comes to a stop. To Thabo, a stop is a stop, right? So, being helpful, he pulls the lever and opens the door. The only problem? It's not the bus stop. It's a red light in the middle of traffic. Can you just imagine the sudden wave of sound from the entire bus shouting, "No, no, we're not there yet." He says he's never volunteering for that seat again. And yeah, who can blame him?
Okay, from public transportation to our favorite, awkward social interactions, the simple handshake. It's supposed to be the standard easy-peasy greeting, but as we're about to find out, it can turn into a social minefield fast.
So his teacher walks into the classroom, says hello to him. It's a normal, polite thing. What do? You offer a handshake, of course. It's just a simple, everyday gesture. In that moment, what could possibly go wrong?
Well, here's the part he didn't know. His teacher was holding a giant stack of books, and she was pregnant. So his hand goes out for a handshake, completely misses her hand, sails right past the books, and lands squarely on her baby bump. An accidental pregnancy check. The whole class just erupted, but the best part, his teacher thought it was absolutely hilarious.
And it's not just with sighted people. He talks about meeting another blind person, where they both reach out for a handshake and just completely miss. He ends up tapping the other guy's elbow, and then there's this fumbling, confused search in midair before their hands finally connect. It's this perfect moment of shared, funny awkwardness that just proves nobody is immune.
This next one might be the most relatable of them all. I think every single one of us has had some version of this happen. It is the classic one-sided conversation.
Oh man, we have all been there. You're at a party, you're telling a fantastic story, you're hitting the punchline, you pause for effect, waiting for that laugh, and you get nothing. Crickets. Just dead air. Because the person you were talking to wandered off minutes ago, and now a complete stranger is staring at you confused. That social reset button you have to hit is it's universally painful and hilarious.
So, after all these funny, embarrassing, and really just very human stories, Thabo starts to bring it all together. He moves from these little anecdotes to the really powerful philosophy he's built from all these moments.
So what is the big takeaway from all these stories? Really, it's like a masterclass in resilience. It's about not just accepting life for what it is, but actively choosing how you're going to respond to it. Don't sweat the small stuff, don't get too sensitive about things, and most important of all, learn to find the humor. Learn how to take a moment that could feel totally humiliating and turn it into a great story you can laugh about later. And this right here is the central powerful idea. So often, society looks at disability through this lens of just hardship. And yeah, he says, of course, there are depressing times. That's life. But that is not the whole picture. As he has so brilliantly shown us, there are also these deeply entertaining, funny, and profoundly human moments that make up a full, rich, and joyful life.
He ends his entire article by turning the whole thing back on us, the readers. After sharing all his imperfect, awkward moments, he leaves us with a challenge, a question for our own lives. Will you find the humor in your imperfect moments? Will you?